So yes, the Page of Cups could be you, could also be a Pisces or a Cancer you're dealing with. Again, with the moon, I feel like watery energies, so you could be dealing with Cancer, Pisces. It could be you, or you could be dealing with another Scorpio, but yes, we'll tell. Time will tell. So I see this little Page of Cups, and the Page of Cups could be your inner child. And the inner child of the Page of Cups is someone who is very sweet, and they want to hug, and they like to play house with their teddy bears, and they like to draw their mom a picture, and they're very like snuggly, and I'm getting this image of a kid that I used to tutor who, he was so funny. One day, out of the blue, he started tearing up, and he said that he was emotional, but there was like no reason for him to tear up. And it wasn't like a, really sad tear up. It was just like, oh, tears are coming out of my eyes, and I don't know why. And like, it was kind of like a funny moment. But it was like he was overwhelmed with joy. It was like that moment. But we weren't even like talking or anything. He was just like, he felt it, you know, in that instant. So perhaps when you're having these daydreams, you know, you're having a lot of this emotion, and you're just getting overwhelmed with emotion. And it might not always be bad. It might be like joyful emotions that you're overwhelmed with, and that's really sweet. But because this is a card of daydreams, it can also be a card of illusion. So again, we'll have to see what other cards present themselves, but I do see it as a very like daydreamy imagination card when it's paired with this cup that's floating up into the sky that looks like a hot air balloon. And we have a castle in the sky. So you're floating on your air balloon up to a castle. Love it. Let's see what angel you have with you at this time. We also have a castle on the moon as well. You have Athena. Athena says, it is safe for you to be powerful. You know how to be powerful in a loving way that benefits others as well as yourself. Scorpios are very powerful. Let me tell you. Okay, Scorpios are the sign of sex, death, and power. Okay? So, if any sign is powerful, it's Scorpio. It's like the perfect sign for you guys. Let me read further for Athena. Like, you know how to hold, like, be in your power. Sometimes even like, working with Scorpios, I love them so much. I love them. I love you guys. I love, like, being on a cusp. I love that, like, depth and intensity and, like, sensitivity, like, the sweetness to Scorpios, but for some reason in the workplace, I have trouble with you guys a lot. I don't know why, but it's like power trips. But like I said, you guys are powerful. So let's see what Athena says. You have been afraid of your own power. You have worried that others would disapprove of you or leave you if you allowed your true power to shine. You have also been concerned that you might abuse your power and that your masculine energy would become unbalanced. I am here to help you reveal your power to yourself and others in a way that enhances your relationships, self-esteem, and life purpose. That's good. That's good. I like it. Athena goes on to say, your power comes from love, from God. Aww. You who are made of the image and likeness of your Creator have unlimited power within you right now. I also want to say that while I have had struggles with Scorpios in the workplace, there are a lot of Scorpios I admire who, I think those who are really dedicated to a spiritual path, like if you align your power to God, like Athena is saying, you it's just so beautiful whenever Scorpios align with God and or align with, you know, spirit. I think that's like your true power. And so perhaps those Scorpios who I didn't agree with in the workplace, perhaps those Scorpios were just not, you know, spirit-minded. Let's see. You aren't capable of abusing your power because your heart chakra has opened like a flower in bloom. Think of a person whom you admire, who is both powerful and balanced in their masculine and feminine energies. Such power is beautiful. It also amplifies your spiritual healing and psychic gifts. You are a strong and powerful light worker, and God needs you to accept and reveal your power. I love that for you, Scorpio. That's like perfect Scorpio card. So let's see what this goes on to say. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Thank you, Spirit. Could you give us clarification on Athena, the Seven of Cups, and freedom? For Scorpio's soul message, for Scorpio and all those who love Scorpio. For their spiritual message. For the end of October. I know I got it out late. I'll try to get November out quicker. It's y'all's birthdays. Spirit, could you give me clarification on the Seven of Cups, freedom, and Athena? For Scorpio and all those who love Scorpio. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. We good, we good. We have the Hermit reversed. I got a little crazy. Little crazy, little crazy. Let's straighten. The Hermit reversed. The Knave of Chalices reversed. And the Knight of Wands reversed. So we have a couple of characters here. The spiritual portion of the reading is usually an internal journey, but you could be dealing with a Virgo, you could be dealing with an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius. Again, we'll see if other cards present themselves, but these cards are like, they go hand in hand, and they kind of tie into this not allowing yourself to be powerful theme. So the Hermit is typically someone who has given up all his possessions, has given up all he's sacrificed a lot, he's given up a lot of his relationships and his friendships so that he can journey through the desert, journey through this cold, long night of the desert. He doesn't know where he's going. He doesn't have a map. He doesn't have all the desert looks the same, so there's no like landmarks to see. He's just wandering through the desert, and the only thing he uses to guide his way, he usually has a lantern with him, so it's like his inner light. He has this inner compass within him. It's this soul journey. It's this going within. It's like introspection. So it's a very internal, solitary card. Very introspective card where you go within and you use your internal compass to let God guide you, to let Spirit guide you, to let your soul kind of wander around in the scary parts, again like the moon, the scary parts, and also find joy in a place of desolation that lies within yourself. Here we have a woman who is floating from the sky. This could be part of your imaginations, but she is kind of a temptation, right? She has this big bowl of fruit. So she's very abundant, very fertile, perhaps even like a seductress type, someone who might like sex or food or drinking that puts you off of your divine path. That it's like a distracting, like attractive quality. Here we have the Knave of Chalices, and again it's very similar because he's going through the desert too, and he's using this stick to, it's like a metal detector, the stick to sort of dead reckon his way through the desert. He is thirsty, he wants water. He can't see water because it's this dry, hot desert, but he knows there's water around because we have trees that have plenty of growth on them around. So water has to be somewhere, and he knows that it's somewhere. He knows within himself. He knows within his intuition that water, that emotion, that feeling, that love, that joy, that you know, all the feelings, all the watery energies within himself are possible, and that he'll know where the source of them are, right? But when both of these are reversed, it's kind of like the Hermit card reverse can be isolation, so you might have been isolating yourself. Did I say? I can't remember. So you might be isolating yourself a bit and feeling, as a result, kind of feeling unloved and like a lack of self-esteem. And this could be, you know, not feeling powerful, not feeling like yourself because you have cut yourself off from temptations and are going through this very, like, dry, desolate time in your life. And I look at this hermit who is refusing all this, like, abundance up here. And I feel like it's this message where it says, allow yourself to be powerful, right? Allow yourself to enjoy this abundance. Allow yourself to find that water, find that feeling again. And I think you will find the feeling again if you haven't already, because we end it on the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands is a fiery energy. Again, he could be a Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius. And they're very fiery, passionate people. You know, they're very, they're emotional too. It's a little different than the watery emotions. It's more like the watery emotions of Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces are usually more from the heart, more from, you know, like I said, that kid crying. But and this is not unlike Scorpio, but the Knight of Wands, the fiery energies of Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius, they're more of the gut, of the loins. So, you know, it's like sex. It's like sex and drive and your passion and creativity. Sorry about that, Scorpio. So the fire energies, again, are more from the gut, more about sex and passion, creativity and drive. So they're a different kind of emotion. They're more of an instinctual emotion than an intuitive emotion. But you're dealing with emotions here, and if you have cut yourself off to abundance, if you have isolated yourself, if you are in this desolate place, then you will eventually find this castle through the long hot desert, or the long, like, dry, cold desert in the middle of the night. But I feel like because of this desolation, because of this isolation, because of this sort of imbalance within yourself, it has, like, this desolate place has created a lot of, has stirred your imagination out of a source of lack, right? So there's nothing there. And we have freedom here, so maybe you're like newly single or something, and you're getting your mojo back. That could be a possibility, but it's like when there's nothing there, then the only thing you have are your imaginations. The only thing you have are your castles in the sky. Okay, let's move on. Let's move along to your money, health, and career. We have guilt, the moon, and Ghostlands reversed. Let me read that. Whenever these Enchanted Map Oracle cards are reversed, I like to read the whole thing just as, like, I don't know, I feel like it gives, like, a better message. Oh, excuse me, Scorpio. Sorry. For money, health, and career. Ghostlands. You can learn from the past and imagine a beautiful future, but you must live in the here and now. Upright Ghostland says, whenever you set your sights too far ahead, you run the risk of losing your footing. For rarely do the present and future match up exactly on the enchanted map that is your life story. The future has no substance right now. It is a place that has no grounding as of yet. You can't live there, yet you can take measured steps toward a goal or dream. These steps are important now. The same goes for nostalgia. You can look into the past wistfully and remember beautiful moments or revisit lessons learned. However, you can't live there, nor can you go back and change what was. And I think this is kind of like imagination, you know, just imagining like past and future. But let's see. Ghostlands goes on to say, where was I? Beautiful moment. However, you can't live there, nor can you go back and change what was. Yesterday is gone forever. Live fully in the present. The now is the most powerful place to put your attention. Its magic reaches out in every direction, further than the heart and soul can see. Reversed. Okay, so remember that message. And in Ghostland, we have a big clock, so it speaks of time, you know, past, present, and future. And it also looks like an icicled, like, temple in the background. So remember that lesson. Live in the present. Reversed, it says, when the Ghostlands card appears reversed, it's a sign that you're wandering in an emotional or intellectual place with no real substance. See, it's like, this is like an emotional wandering, right? Emotional wandering through the desert. Let's see. Okay. There is no point longing for that which has already gone or hasn't happened yet. Perhaps you've created a fantasy of the good old days or some elusive utopian destination that lies somewhere in the future when this or that happens to make things better. Live one day at a time. Each day is a new beginning filled with truth and beauty. Stay away from the ghostlands of past and future. Avoid nostalgia and longing for something better. Find joy in what is present in your life today. Okay, and again, this is like with the moon card too, because like I said, the moon can play tricks on us, and it's about imagination too. And maybe you feel some guilt about the past, or feel some guilt about not planning for the future. Let's see what these cards have to say. Spirit, could you surround us with the warm light, loving light of God, and give us clarity for Ghostlands reverse, the moon, and guilt for Scorpio and all those who love Scorpio. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. What are the messages for Ghostlands reverse, the moon, and guilt for Scorpio and all those who love Scorpio? Thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. What are the messages for Scorpio and all those who love Scorpio for the money, health, career? One more shuffle. Money, health, career for Scorpio and all those who love Scorpio. The stars. I like that card. The 9 of Wands reversed. And the 8 of Chalices. So I like how you have the moon and the stars. I feel like something has become a burden. It's like something you once wished for might have become a burden. Something that you might have dreamed about in the past. The star card is about a wish. Then we have this imagination element here. So it's like maybe something you wished for in your future. The 9 of Wands is a burdensome card. In the traditional Rider-Waite deck, it shows a man who is just like battered. He has a bandage over his head. He's been through hell. And the message is if he would just put down one of those wands or a couple of those wands and pick the rest up, then he wouldn't feel so like, oh, why am I carrying all these wands? Like, it's a very tasking thing to carry all those wands. He's like juggling all these wands in his hands, and he can't do it anymore. It's just too much. He's all the obligations he's taken on, all the responsibilities he's taken on are just like not worth it, you know, like he's taken on too much. when it's reversed, I feel, you know, in this particular deck, the upright version is kind of a sweet thing to me, because it's like, even though it's a burden, he's carrying this door on his back, and he is helping his family, like protecting his family. So the burdens he has to face, like, they're going to pay off. But when I see it reversed, I see that message of, this is too much of a burden to even bother. And because we have the 8 of Chalices next to it, the 8 of Chalices is about walking away from something that you've invested a lot of emotion into. And, you know, it can kind of be like a breakup, leave my job type of card, but it can also just mean, like, moving on to the next step, you know. Like, I've invested all I can. It's time to go on new journeys, time to expand, time to, you know, broaden my horizons. And it doesn't mean that you can't come back. It just means that you've spent too much time in one place, and although you've invested a lot, you know, it's just time to reach for something bigger. And maybe you're afraid to be powerful because you have put in a lot of work, you have put in all these burdens, perhaps you have had this wish for a long time, and you almost feel guilty kind of giving it up and walking away. But by giving it up, not giving it up, but by, you know, taking a trip, by moving into something, and you might very well, you know, leave a job or something, but if you are moving into a more peaceful place, then why not? You know, like, who cares if it was a dream you have to give up, or who cares if it's like this burden that you can't actually handle. Like, if it is affecting your well-being, if it's making you feel guilty, if it is, I think it's also a present thing. You know, this talked about living in the present. This talked about not looking at the past, not looking at the future. And so, presently, this guy is moving away, like he's going on this trip, he's going through this gate, and there's lots of growth at the bottom, there's lots of things that have blossomed, things he's nurtured, and that have, you know, grown into these beautiful things. And those beautiful things will be there when he gets back. You know, he's tended his garden, and his garden has given him these blooms. And perhaps if he goes off into the frontier, if he goes on to new territory, if he explores a little more, then he can come back with more stuff to put in his garden, right? With more stuff to nurture, more stuff to take care of. It's just like, I'm seeing like a more holistic, a more expansive possibility if you're willing to go in that direction. You might also be dealing with an Aquarius, but I see that this expansion, this leaving things behind that are too burdensome, leaving things behind that you once, like you've been so fixed on this goal. I feel like leaving for a minute is actually going to redirect you to that goal in a way you didn't expect. But you have to let go of guilt. So let's move on to the love. I hope that was a good message for money. Let me know in the comments what that means for you. Okay, we have the Page of Cups, Bridge, and let's see, we have Turn on Your Heart Light and New Love. Ooh, Scorpio, new love. Let's see. 26. New Love says, everything has a season. Get ready, as someone special is now in your life. If you are in a relationship, there is a burst of new energy coming into the relationship. This could also mean new energy in a place of employment or great opportunity that is coming your way. And she has, she's catching a falling star, putting it in her pocket. It's very sweet. Turn on Your Heart light is really beautiful. It's this woman who has this beautiful green skin, kind of like, I'm thinking of Elphaba, whatever her name was in Wicked. Turn on Your Heart light says, allow yourself in this moment, present, allow yourself in this moment to reflect on a time when you experienced love. But actually, that kind of goes with the thinking of the past, but think of a time when you experienced love. We also have, she looks like she has red hair, but there are feathers in her red hair. If that means anything to you. Feathers, if you see feathers on the ground, it can mean that Spirit is with you. They're like little angel wings telling you that you're on. Angels surround you through a difficult time. Okay, Turn on Your Heart light goes on to say, thinking of loving moments will enable you to open your heart. Taking time to draw on a memory of love reopens and heals your heart to receive love. It is important to keep your heart light on and broadcast your love out into the world. Oh, wow. I got that for another reading, and my reader didn't go into the book definition. That brings a whole other meaning. So what is the message for Scorpio and all those who love Scorpio in their love and emotional life? Spirit, Spirit, Spirit. Please give us God-given guidance for the highest good of all for Scorpio and all those who love Scorpio. Could you give us clarification on the Page of Cups, Bridge, Turn on Your Heart light, and New Love? Spirit, Spirit, Spirit. Thank you for Scorpio and all those who love Scorpio. One more for Scorpio and all those who love Scorpio. High Priestess. Could be dealing with a Pisces. Seven of Pentacles. I swear this is in almost every reading this month. Cannot believe. The Hierophant reversed. You could also be dealing with a Taurus. He's been coming up a lot too, though. It could be a Pisces on a Aquarius cusp. Just saying, just saying. Okay, so let me see. Let me figure this out. The High Priestess and the Hierophant are lovers. The High Priestess is a woman who they look at religion and spirituality in different ways. The High Priestess is someone who studies tarot. She is more connected to the occult. She uses her intuition and, you know, her spirit guides. She talks to angels. She is a medium. She is the type of person, it's like feminine intuition. So with feminine intuition, it's like we just know, you know? Don't you know? Feminine intuition, it's like we can see a loved one eat beans and know that it's because he misses his mom. You know? It's like stuff like that. Like, especially, I can't describe women's intuition because it's such an internal and kind of strange thing sometimes. But this is someone who she is more flexible in her spiritual path. And she uses divination to navigate her way. The Hierophant he uses spirituality in a very doctrine type of way. He reads the Bible, he studies the Bible, he wants to make sure he knows the law of God. This temple looks a lot like a government building, right? But he wants to know how to get into heaven. X plus Y equals Z. If I don't eat shrimp and only wear cotton, then I'm getting into heaven. And you can see the sheep here. The sheep are his followers. The sheep want to be good sheep. They want to be shepherded into heaven. They want to be shepherded by someone they trust, and they want to be good sheep. Good little lambs, right? So this is like grandmotherly wisdom. This is grandfatherly wisdom. The Hierophant is about tradition. It's about like family tradition. Very grandfatherly energy. So your grandma, your grandpa. Those type of energies. So we have the High Priestess upright and the Hierophant reversed. So there's something, and it's interesting, I see a bridge here. So, and we have a disconnect with the Hierophant being in reverse. So I feel like there needs to be some sort of bridge in spirituality where if you identify more as the High Priestess, as this feminine wisdom, then there needs to be more acceptance of this masculine spirituality and a better, how do I say? Like, the Hierophant reversed, sometimes, I can see it as like dogma, like religion gets distorted, messages get distorted, and it leads people to be brainwashed. It, it can do a lot of damage. It can, like the revelations of the Catholic Church, of all the, young boys affected by the Catholic Church. Prosperity gospel, mega churches, all these people giving money to this guy who is not helping the poor, So religion can often get distorted into a system that isn't fair for the masses, even though that's who they want to shepherd. That's who they want to guide. They want to guide people with spiritual guidance. They want to be on their pulpit and have the best God-given message, right? But perhaps if you identify as this High Priestess, perhaps there's this view that their religion, their way of spirituality is BS. So I think maybe there needs to be discussions, definitely, because in this card, in the Seven of Pentacles, it usually is a card about waiting on your harvest, like you've planted all these seeds. In the background we have these men who are tilling the soil and making it fertile for, the fruit that they want to bear. There's also a lot of growth on the side with these roses. And so it's, it's a patience card. Hold on one sec. So it's a patience card, waiting for your the things you've nurtured, the things you've planted, the things you've taken care of to bloom and blossom. And it's about having faith that what you can't always see is going to come up to the soil. Here in the foreground, we see a woman who is letting go of like a dove of peace. She wants peace. She's letting go very faithfully, right? And I look at this bird as kind of like a carrier excuse me, a carrier pigeon. Like she has a message and she's waiting on the message to come back. So when it's reversed, I can kind of see like a miscommunication, maybe a misunderstanding that is in disconnect with your counterpart. Ultimately, you know, if this is a new love coming in, if this is someone you're trying to bridge with, if this is someone you need to turn a light on to, your heart light on, then you want to understand that person, right? And they might not identify with your spirituality 100%, but that makes both of you grow and be better as people, because it's like this complementary element to each other makes you enriches your life, right? It makes you a more whole person. And it's like, if you're unwilling to bridge the spirituality with another person, like if you won't just entertain them on a Sunday and go to their church, even if you don't agree with the ideology, then it's like you don't plant a seed, right? It's like you don't make a bridge. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments, and let's get to my lower level hits. You might be going to a psychic, and but you might be going to psychics for kind of the wrong reasons. You might be going to psychics because you feel, and you might even be watching this video because you feel lost and you feel like psychics are going to have all the answers. Psychics are going to make your wishes come true. But remember that psychics are spiritual guidance. Psychics deal with, they help you articulate your emotions. They help you navigate through emotions, and your emotions and your thoughts create vibrations within yourself that attract your wishes, that attract, the stars are full of energy. They're they're, balls of gas. They're that Knight of Wands, right? The fire. So they're balls of gas that are in the galaxy and in the universe. We have orbits, we have rotations, we have gravitational pulls. So it's all about this connection to getting on a vibration, on a frequency, on an orbit, on an energy that aligns us to the things we want in our lives, that aligns us to this abundance. And perhaps in this cold, dark night of going through the desert, you don't want these temptations, but you're guided by these frequencies. You're guided by, that's basically your internal compass, is the frequency with which you have within yourself. And what psychics do, they're not going to tell you your future. They're not going to tell you when he's going to call. They're going to tell you the energies around you and how you can capitalize on that energy. And they're going to tell you how to make the most of your energy, or how to develop your energy, right? So make sure that you are watching these psychic readings for the right reasons, and that you are trying to align yourself spiritually to get all the things that God wants you to have within this lifetime on this earth, right? So, in aligning yourself, in getting on that vibration, on that frequency, you are going to be in your power. That's what makes you powerful. That's what makes you this bright star, right? Okay, let's see what else we have. You might be waiting on someone to come home, or someone might be waiting on you to come home. You may have had to kick someone out of your home and like build a new one, or like renovate your home, or maybe not even renovate, just like there may have been someone in your family who was causing some problems and you had to let them go, and it was really sad, but it created a space to better things in your home, to make it it's like getting rid of a roommate so that you can buy a new sofa or something. I don't know why that's coming to mind, but these lower level messages I get at the end are very, like, trivial. So keep that in mind. It's only to try to get messages for a few. Remember, these are general readings, general readings. You may be seeking a guru, a spiritual teacher. I mean, if you are with a partner and they're more churchy and you're skeptical of that, I feel like it might actually broaden your idea of spiritualism, even if you might not necessarily agree with that ideology, but I think it would be really good for you. Stepping out into new horizons, it's going to give you a better passion. Because we have a lot of water and fire energy, you could be dealing with a twin flame. If you are wanting to make the world a better place, if you're into any work in regards to civics, in regards to nonprofits, if you want to buy the world a Coke, then I think there needs to be better leadership. Perhaps you need to be the powerful one, or perhaps you need to find a leader who's going to be this good shepherd to guide you guys into this frontier, into this new horizon. You might also be moving away from traditionalism. Moving away from tradition. And that might be part of that guilt, Like, we've done it this way for so long, but I need to, and, we built all of this together, but I need to go and do my own thing. When you are walking through the desert, trying to find this water, trying to find these feelings that are underneath the surface that appear, dormant in this really dry, desolate place, I think turning on your heart light, it's like that's going to be this little navigator. That's going to be the metal detector element. It's going to put you on the vibration. It's going to put you in your power. Okay, Scorpio, I think that's all the messages I have for now. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. I love you very much. I will see you next time. Bye.